Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. This week, I have 3 shows to talk to you about, all in kind of the Bloomington Normal area. And so the first one was Friday. I played at Crafted in Bloomington. Saturday, I played at the Coffeehouse in Uptown Normal. And then Sunday, I played at the Nightshop. And it turned out to be like the coldest weekend of the year so far. So as you can imagine, that definitely affected the turnouts. And, people were just a little bit more timid, I think, about making the trip anywhere, just because of the cold. Towards the end of the season, people get a little bit more bold, I think. But this was the most cold it has been yet. So that being said, the turnouts weren't necessarily what you would visualize if you thought of an amazing show, but you just kind of got to make do and figure out a way to have fun with it. And that's was kind of the name of the game this weekend. It's kind of always the name of the game at the Coffeehouse, but that's not because it's slow. It's just because it's a different mentality of playing. Very background type style of music. But anyway, so it would be Friday at Crafted. It was like, there's probably 3 tables when I got there. By the time I started playing, it was maybe down to 2. About an hour in, there was maybe 1. And then I played to nobody for a while. And then another few people came in at the very end of it. I did cut out a little early, so that was, I don't know, it's like a double-edged sword, because it's like, it's not what you hope for. You hope to be kept late to play longer, but, sometimes it's nice to just cut out a little early, and that was good for the staff, because they close at 10, so if I would have played until exactly 10, they would have been there for a while after, kind of closing up shop, waiting for me to tear my stuff down. So, I went like 15 minutes early and got out of there pretty quick. But so how I tried to make this show fun is I live streamed it. And I don't know, live streaming's weird. I don't know how else to describe it. It's awkward because people pop in. I end up staring at the screen too much and seeing like who's watching, are people saying anything, and I always put it just far enough out of reach that I can't read what the people are saying, or if somebody's trying to say hi or what's up, or just for a second, I miss it every time because I put it just a little too far. And then I'm looking at that number up in the corner, like, how many people are watching, I wonder. And then I catch myself doing that too many times. But it's not natural, really. It's not something I'm used to. So it is what it is. I did 3 different live streams, I ended up. And the first one was pretty much garbage. I was, there wasn't a lot. I think that was at the time where there was nobody in there. So I was just like, okay, well, let's just mess around a little bit, play some weird songs. And I did end up and play the song that Ryan Wolf and I wrote together called Alien, and that one went really well and was really cool and fun to play. And it was enjoyable. And then I played some other kind of not so rehearsed songs. One brand new one that I that may have been the first time I'd played it out, called Scarface, and did not go amazingly, but I was just kind of in a mess around mood, I guess. So I tried it, and I tried a couple other ones like that, and ended that live stream, hopped over to Facebook, and then I did a pretty solid set, I feel like, by myself. And then I jumped back onto Instagram and did another little live stream, and more, my regular songs on those. But it was kind of like a tough call. Like, I could just play to nobody, and maybe 2 people would show up and I'd be playing like really weird songs, or play to the people. Do I play to the people that are watching the stream? I don't know. It was just it was a weird night, but sometimes you can make fun out of that. And I think that think I did. I mean, it's better than sitting at home, for sure. So yeah, that was Friday. Saturday was another Coffeehouse show, and those are always just a little too early for me. But I felt like this one was, I was more awake. I'd gotten a good night's sleep the night before, and I was like ready for action, I guess. So I played, I felt like it's the best I've ever sang over there. So that was kind of a nice feeling to actually let those people, because they hear me in the morning every time. So it's nice to have them actually hear me in a setting where I'm like sounding how I normally sound, where I'm not just like compensating to the AM voice, I guess. Overall, you know, it was a little slower than it normally is, but it was still a good day. And I had the night off, is what that means. And again, kind of a weird weekend in general. You know, slow. Most of the shows, the weather was cold for the first time, like big cold, not just like you can wear a jacket and be okay. It was like you needed a heavy coat if you're going outside. And what else? It was so it was slow at the coffee house, but I felt like it sounded good, so I had fun. And then I had the night off, so it was a pretty laid back evening ultimately. And then Sunday, kind of a few different things happened. I had so this was going to be a show that I played with Doug, Dave, and Lo. And then this was like the first show in like a really long time that we were going to do. And we had practiced a couple times this last week on Tuesday or Monday and Thursday, I think. And we had like a tight 45-minute set that we were going to do. And then, you know, earlier in the day on Sunday, Doug got a hold of me, and he was saying he wasn't feeling good, and the other band he plays with had some other people that weren't necessarily feeling good. So that definitely he was like, I'm not gonna risk it. And I was like, yeah, that totally makes sense. So, you know, we were down to the 3-piece, Lo, Dave, and I. And Lo had to work all day, and it was like an extra long day for her. And she got off at about 5. She was just exhausted. I could see it in her face and everything. And she was saying that she was going to be struggling pretty hard. And she hadn't done, you know, a full day work and then have to do a show after in a very long time. So it was a struggle, and I thought that it probably, you know, it'd be rough, but we'd get through it. It ended up, and she fell asleep, like without trying very hard, and I kind of just let her sleep. And then I hit her up after our sound check, and she was just so tired, and she wasn't feeling very good. So I ended up picked her up, and then brought her there, and she immediately felt like nauseous. So I just took her home. So it ended up, and it was just down to Dave and I. So I should say this show was with Alex Jordine and Kristen Ford. Kristen Ford is a Nashville kind of touring artist. She was telling me the story about how she had just been in a movie and done the whole soundtrack for it, so that sounded pretty cool. But anyway, so Kristen Ford, Alex Jordine were the people we were playing with. We'd only gotten told about this show like a week before it happened, so it was Sunday night, and it was cold, so we really didn't bring a whole lot of people out, which was kind of a bummer, because I know there would have been a couple that probably would have showed up. But the very first musician brought some people out, and then so did Kristen Ford. So in the very first, Alex Jordine, she's a local artist. She's a really good singer. It was a really solid performance. I mean, I could tell she's on the younger side, but I feel like she's going to be great. And then Kristen Ford, she did like a looping set, and you know, a lot. It was good. It was her voice was really solid. Her guitar playing was very good, and you could tell she had a lot of experience under her belt, and it was fun. She had a lot of different interesting sound effects and things that she had been working on adding in, and she was just really nice, really pleasant overall, and sounded really good. So it was cool to kind of make that connection. And I think at some point, hopefully, she'll be on the podcast, and maybe the Jordine person as well. But anyway, so it was kind of fun. I was hoping Lo was going to be there, but she wasn't feeling good, so I brought her home. And then we ended up and played. The problem with like Nightshop shows, the plug and play mindset. So before this, I was just like, I'm just going to use my in-ears and let the house person do what they do. And it was nothing that went wrong was on them. It was a lot on me because I did not dial in my in-ears good enough beforehand, and I didn't have a good monitor mix beforehand. I should have spent like an extra 5 minutes doing that, and I thought I was good. Sometimes you do a little sound check and you're like, oh, I just need a little more vocal. You push a little bit, and then you actually play, and then you're like, wow, I can't hear my voice at all. I was also trying the one mild earplug on my other ear, and first 4 or 5 songs I just felt like were not good. I mean, I didn't sing them well. I couldn't hear myself, and then I ended up and popped the other ear in-ear in, and it was like, oh, I can hear like perfectly now. So, and I'd been pushing the vocals and the guitar a little bit, and everything else was loud enough that I could pretty much hear it with the earphones. So I guess that's the way to do it over there. But I don't know. I just always feel like the more time you have for like an actual sound check, the better the result's gonna be. So those plug and play shows are always a little tough, and they're always a little tough to figure out what the set list is. Now, again, I had said we had a really tight 45 minutes, all original set, but since Doug and Lo ended up and didn't make it, it was up to me and Dave. And Dave can really just play with whatever I'm doing. And, we have... The hand percussion has enough flexibility to just follow. Like, you don't have to necessarily know where the song's going. I mean, he has a rough idea because we've been playing together for so long of like my mentality and where I might take something, but so he can use a little bit of his anticipation, but it's a little bit more free form than like if you have the bass player who knows the exact. I mean, there's still some wiggle room in some like different spots and different, but much more like this is how it starts, this is the verse, this is the chorus, that kind of setup. So with Dave, and we didn't even stick to the set, like the first like 3 songs I think we did, and then I just started going off what I was feeling, and then Dave requested a few of the originals, and they actually, I feel like, went even better than what I would have maybe, or what I was recommending at the time. And so I mean, the last 5 songs were, or maybe 6, maybe it was like 6 and 6. The last half was like a lot of fun. I was just like in the zone. Dave was feeling what I was doing, and it was just like a really tight show from there. And I played some songs that Dave hasn't really played live with me. It was just good to be back on, I hadn't played with him in a while since Distill, and when would that have been? The summertime, definitely. Maybe July or something. So, I mean, we had taken some time off, so it was good to have that kind of. I always feel like it's a good contrast because he's very flow, in the moment, feel, vibe kind of player, and I'm very like, this is how the song goes kind of player. So it has a nice like juxtaposition, and I feel like he loosens me up a little bit, gets me out of my boxes to some extent, and I feel like, I kind of keep him maybe slightly more tamed than if he was just winging the whole thing because he knows all the songs. So it's like, it's kind of nice to do it together like that, and it was just fun. It was a good show. It was delightful. That's the word I should say. It was delightful. I didn't have any expectation because it was a Sunday night and we played at 10 o'clock. So I wasn't expecting this like crazy, like, oh, this is going to be a hopping show. So, I mean, my expectations were met or maybe exceeded a little because some people were there. It was cold. So I was just like thinking at the beginning of the day, like, there's going to be nobody. But there was some. I mean, there's probably 20 people throughout the night that were there. And yeah, so it went good. I don't have much more to say about it. I'm hoping to get Dave more on the rotation. We've been kind of toying with that idea a little bit, talking about it and thinking that. And Low at some point, I think we'll want to start doing some shows again. But other than that, I released the lyric video, which I had made on the Fiverr app that I've talked about before. And I have a music video that I'm in the process of making and this is for Good Friends, I should have mentioned. But it was good for Good Friends, and that's going to be out probably this weekend. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Been trying the new way of pushing the song, and I feel like it's been rewarding. It's been going in the right direction, which is up. Which, a lot of the releases I've done in the past have just kind of put out there and hope that people like it and take the time to listen. I'll post about it for a week, but I've been trying to be more on top of it, and that's been going a lot better. So this week I got the actual music video for it. Next week I will probably push the Spotify and I'll just do like a different one every day. So I'll do like the Spotify post, I'll do the lyric video post, I'll do the music video post, and then the week after that I got to start setting up the next release, which is the Pandemic Relief record or live EP that's going to be pressed to vinyl. And so the digital release, that's February 15th. The vinyl release is TBD. I think it's going to be June. But so I'm working on, the beginning part of getting the word out about that. So, and then after that, after I actually do release that, which that'll be February 15th, I will be putting out a alternate version, kind of a stripped back version of Good Friends out. So that'll be another way to push that song. And obviously we'll be promoting the album, the EP, quite a bit. And then I need to buckle down and really just get some stuff recorded. So I can have something to release even after that. But that's pretty far down the line. But I can feel the procrastination in me. And I should also I've been working on that other podcast now for that first episode for a year, not super focused, but I need to get more on top of it because I think that'll be entertaining and interesting to people, I hope. Kind of say more about what the songs that I picked to do the episode about, or the story, get kind of our general story a little bit better. But yeah, so that's the stuff to be looking out for. This weekend I have 2 shows, Pontiac at the Cellar on Friday, which I'm excited to be back since it's been a couple months. And then Saturday I will be back at Dr. McKay's, which I haven't been there for years at this point, but that used to be like a regular spot. So, and I'm having Jake Denny's gonna do some songs throughout the night, so that'll just be cool. Different vibe than I'm used to. Get some new faces in the crowd, hopefully, and hopefully he'll enjoy playing. And he's kind of a youngin', but it'll be, I've known him since he was real young, so it's kind of been fun to see him grow into the musician he is right now, and I think he'll grow into an even better one down the line. So it's fun to watch the journey a little bit. But that's what's been going on. That's what's up. And as always, I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good one. All right, bye.